The Springboks have just released their team to take on the All Blacks in the second test of Rugby's greatest rivalry series in Cape Town, and there has been a lot of changes here. There's a lot of changes made by Rassie here. We're going to go through the team, but before we do, if you guys do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow. I really appreciate all the support. It's been growing very fast. I appreciate all the feedback, all the positive comments, absolutely everything. So let's get right into it. Obviously, the Springboks had a very disappointing performance against the All Blacks last weekend. We weren't dominant. We didn't actually... we were dominant at times. Actually, we didn't let our dominance go into points. No scoreboard pressure. Just let the All Blacks run through us at times. A lack of... I wouldn't say cohesion, but a lack of intensity. A lack of wanting to win the game. You could just see that the All Blacks wanted it more. And that's very rare for our Springbok team for that to happen. Now, this is a much changed team from the Springboks, and I'm going to be honest about some of these selections. Some of these selections, I don't know if I would have done them if I was a coach, but of course we have to trust Rassie. We have to trust what the coaches do. But of course, I've made this channel so I can talk about my opinions as well. So guys, please let me know your opinions of this team down below as well. Let's talk about it. There's no rights or wrongs. There's literally no rights or wrongs. I mean, we'll only know after the game if it's rights or wrongs. But let's get into the team. Starting off with the front row. It's the same front row that started last week at Ellis Park. Oxenchair, Malcolm Marx and Volkolo. They will continue to do what they did. They will continue to dominate at scrum time. They were a force to be reckoned with early on in that first half. But can the Springboks put that into points now? I think with the decisions they've made in the backline, they might actually be able to now. So, good front row there, great front row, probably the best front row in the world. They have done their job in the first half of that last game. It's about time the other guys started putting those points, that dominance into points. Looking at the locks, it's the same locks as well. Eben Etzebeth number 4, Ruan Nortje number 5. They weren't bad last week. I thought it was one of Ruan Nortje's most quiet games. Of course, he always gets stuck in. He always gets the job done with regards to doing the unseen hard work. I thought Eben Etzebeth had a pretty solid game as well, but they're going to have to be even better this game. They're going to have to take their game to the next level, and it's got to be an 80-minute performance. It can't just be a 40-minute performance. Look at number 6. It says Siya Kolisi / Paul de Villiers. So I'm guessing if Siya Kolisi is match fit to play, he probably will be playing in the number 6 jersey. I'm guessing if he isn't, then Paul de Villiers will play. I'm not sure if Siya Kolisi is fit, if Paul de Villiers will go straight out the team or move to the bench. I guess we'll have to find out throughout the week. I don't think that really it has a big influence, but hopefully if one guy isn't fit, hopefully the whole team doesn't have to change fit. Hopefully if Siya Kolisi is fit to play, I think Cameron Hanekom should still be on the bench then, but that's just my opinion. Looking at number 7 and captain Pieter-Steph du Toit, looking for a better captain's performance from him. He had a good game around the park, very physical, very solid, very high work rate, but I thought Pieter-Steph du Toit's ref management wasn't the best. If you look at how Ardie Savia approached the ref and how Pieter-Steph du Toit and all the players from the Springboks approached the ref, you could just see that the Springboks players were getting on the ref's nerves. They were going out of place talking to the ref, every single player thinking they're the captain. There's only one captain, and for this game it's Pieter-Steph du Toit. He has to kind of take that responsibility a bit better, because with regards to playing on the field, he's brilliant, but I think as a captain, maybe has a lot of room to improve in my opinion. Number 8, Jasper Visser, my man of the match for the Springboks team last weekend. He was brilliant. We need to see more of the same from him. Dominant, physical, always wanting to win, never say die attitude. We need more of that from Jasper Visser, but we just need a bit more accuracy from the whole forward pack. I thought we looked a bit frantic at the breakdown. Guys were running full speed into contact. Very poor placement at the breakdown. Almost, I don't know how to describe it, not lack of cohesion, but just nobody was really on the same page. There wasn't accuracy. It just wasn't a well-oiled machine for the Springboks this weekend. We're going to have to fix that going forward. Number 9, Kobus Reinach. Number 10, Handré Pollard. A very experienced 9-10 combination. And you know what? The last few seasons, I wouldn't be happy when I see Handré Pollard there. Right now, I actually am happy to see him there. I thought it would be Manie Libbok, and don't get me wrong, I think Manie Libbok is the number 10 right now for the Springboks, the way he pulls the strings and stuff. But I think Handré Pollard is selected because Cheslin Colby is injured and we need a reliable goal kicker. So that does make sense for me. Number 9, Kobus Reinach, had a poor performance from the bench, but he's been used to starting recently. He's got to have a big game now from the number 9 jersey, because we can't go down 2-0 in the series. That means we cannot win this series. So a lot to look forward to, but also a big performance needed from some big time players. Handré Pollard, a World Cup winner, a great player, and in my opinion, honestly, playing some better rugby this season since moving from Leicester Tigers to the Bulls. He's got that kind of attacking play back, that kind of natural attacking ability, seeing space a bit better. I like what I'm seeing from Andre Pollard. Hopefully we can see more. Moving on to the centers, the same centers, Dale Lindy and Creel. Hopefully for Jesse Creel's sake, he doesn't have to move completely out of position to the wing, because this center combination is the most experienced center combination in Springbok rugby history. Sorry, not world rugby history, Springbok rugby history. But they are going up against a young, very, very energetic, very powerful, very dominant center combination, probably in Jordie Barrett and Quinn Tupaia. And right now, it's 1-0 to Jordie Barrett and Quinn Tupaia. Dale Lindy and Creel need to get the revenge in this game and make it 1-1, because without that, it's going to be 2-0 to the All Blacks in the series. Looking at the back three, Ethan Hooker moves into the number 11 jersey, Curtly Orange at number 14, and Damian Williams at number 15. No Cheslin Colby, which is a very big loss, but you know what? I want to see more from Curtly Orange now, because he has what it takes to be just like a Cheslin Colby right now. Maybe the ball hasn't got into his wing enough, but Curtly Orange is one of the biggest game-breaking players in world rugby, and the last few months we haven't seen it. So right now, we need to see the best from Curtly Orange. And of course, Ethan Hooker, number 11, one of the most solid, underrated players in world rugby. He is such a phenomenal rugby player. He plays the game the right way, a brilliant rugby player. I cannot wait to see Ethan Hooker in the number 11 jersey. Looking at the bench, we have Dion Fourie, number 16. Good to see him back. A very good fetcher off the bench, which means they probably will be confident to sub Malcolm Marx out the game. They seemed quite hesitant to do that in the last game, but they probably will be confident to sub him out the game. Dion Fourie is a good scrummager. He's good at line-out time and a very good fetcher as well. So almost a like for like with Malcolm Marx. Gerard Steenkamp, number 17. Thomas du Toit, number 18. So two very experienced, two very powerful props there. Still confused to why Thomas du Toit wasn't in the game last week. Maybe he had a little bit of an injury, but he is one of the best props in world rugby. He's one of the best scrummaging props as well. You have to play him. In my opinion, he should be starting with Volkelo off the bench, but that's just my opinion. Gerard Steenkamp, a very solid scrummager, needs to pick up his game around the park as well. Now looking at the other forwards on the bench, it is a 6-2 split. Louis Diaga, number 19. Andre Estes, number 20. Of course, he plays that hybrid role. Can play backline, can play forwards. A brilliant player. Louis Diaga has got to show his size. He's got to show his strength at line-out time. He has to come on and be a nuisance to the All Blacks, the way the All Blacks have been a nuisance to us in Game 1. And number 21, Cameron Hanekom. I am so excited about this. I thought Marco van Staden has played himself out the team with that performance. And don't get me wrong, I have so much respect for Marco van Staden. I think he is a brilliant player for the Springboks. But Cameron Hanekom is the guy for right now. Brilliant game against Argentina for the Springboks, scoring his first ever try, showing what kind of player he really is, and he can just bring that kind of Kwagga Smith value player from the bench. Very good ball carrier, and you can actually then have confidence to take off a guy like a Jasper Visser, because then you have a guy like Cameron Hanekom coming on. So I think this team actually is a much better team selected. I just would have liked to see Manie Lebok. But of course, number 22, Morne van der Berg, I think he deserves it. Grant Williams did not have his best game by any means last weekend. Maybe it's a bit of a week to let him recover. Maybe he has a niggle. Maybe he probably will be back, because he is one of the Springboks' most valuable players. Not his best performance, but you can't really say, oh, he's not a good player anymore because he had one poor game. He is still a very good player and a very good game-breaking ability. And number 23, same story for him, Sasha Ngomazulu. Now, for Sasha, a very poor game. And I think he's had 2 poor games in a row now. I think if he has a third, he might just get dropped out the team and Manie Lebok comes in, because in my opinion, I don't know why Manie Lebok's not in the team. I don't know why Sasha not playing well has now given them the license to drop Manie Lebok. They have their reasons, of course they do. I know Sasha can play 10, he can play 12, he can play 15, so he is a bit of a jack of all trades there. I understand the utility part there, but Manie Lebok, every time he's come onto the field in the last 2 seasons, has really pulled the strings so well. Accurate kicking out of hand, accurate kicking for the line. It just seems like every time Andre Pollard plays at 10, they don't want to have Manie there because they know Andre will play the 80 minutes. So this makes me think maybe at the end of the game we will see a Willemse to 12, a Sasha to 15, or vice versa. So I think Andre Pollard will play 80 minutes. And remember, Ethan Hooker can play brilliantly in the centers as well. I, in my opinion, was hoping for Estes in at 12 and Hooker at 13, but hopefully we see that down the line. But nonetheless, a very strong team selected by the Springboks. A lot of good changes, a lot of positive changes. I think these changes have what it takes to work, because Andre Pollard, I thought he was washed for a season, but now he's back playing some really good rugby, looking fresh. You could see the shot of him looking out the tunnel like, what is going on right now? Morne van der Berg deserves the spot on the bench in my opinion. Good fetcher as well. Kind of brings a different dynamic at scrum off. And I think the other guys that have come into the team, I mean, thinking about who else is in here. Kobus Reiner starting, Andre Pollard starting, Ethan Hooker starting. Other guys, Dion Fourie coming off the bench, Thomas Tutoy coming into the team, Lodi Jager and Cameron Hanekom and Morne van der Berg. All of those guys can add such good value to the team. And that is kind of, you can see where the depth comes into play. Now, I know depth really doesn't mean anything once you select your 23, but at least the Springboks have the depth where they can make the changes with guys not on form, and these guys can come in and make a big impact. But guys, let me know your thoughts on the team down below. I'm very excited for the team now. I actually hope Siya Kolisi can be in the number 6 jersey. He adds so much value to the game. A big ball carrier, a physical player, a game changer, just like a Jasper Visser as well. So I'm hoping Siya Kolisi does play, but of course, there's some very good game changers there. Dion Fourie, Lodi Jager at line-out time, Thomas Tutoy at scrum time, Andre Esterhuizen wherever he plays, Cameron Hanekom around the park, brilliant. I'm excited for this team. I think this team can bounce back and make it 1-1. Of course, there is going to be a lot more content coming out throughout the week, so if you guys do enjoy the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I appreciate all the support. I'm excited for this team. It looks like a bit of a re-energized team. I like it. I think it's a good decision from Rassie. I think the one decision is I would have liked to see Manie Libbok in the team somewhere. I think he adds so much value to this team. But other than that, it's a good team in my opinion. I started off the video thinking, looked at the team once and thought, this is too many changes for my liking. But then I see this, if Siya Kolisi plays, I just saw in line, it could be the most experienced Springbok team caps-wise of all time. So very exciting team, but we have to bounce back because the All Blacks will just take it to another level. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.